What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing? I'm doing great, as usual. So, last week saw UK boxing come back for the first time this year with a great card, actually. But that leads us to this week. And this week, UK is back with another card. And the reason why I like when the UK's got boxing going on is because if you're like me on the East Coast, you get boxing roughly from about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and the UK, usually the UK main event starts around 4:35 p.m. And if we're lucky enough to have a US card on the same day, which most times we do, uh, you get boxing all day and all night. So that's what we got coming up this weekend. And before I get started talking about this weekend's bigger fights that I see that I'm interested in, and what the different gambling websites got for odds and my picks and all that. For all you who's got wives or girlfriends, I am not a professional gambler. All right? So if you decide to take the information that you hear from me, and if you lose, I don't want to see no messages. I don't want your wives or girlfriends calling me saying, "You're the reason why my boyfriend lost. Moore's house. Moore's house. It's all your fault." Nope. I'm telling you now, I'm not a professional. Just my thoughts. All right? So let's get into it. We'll start with the UK card first. Uh, there's a big fight that everybody in the UK has been waiting on. This fight's been canceled twice. The fight is between Josh Kelly and Evan. And yeah, this is going to be a good fight. A lot of people have been waiting on it. And Josh Kelly is 13, 14 and 0. Olympic medalist, I believe. Uh, he's one of them fighters that got the Olympic rings tattooed on him. So, he was serious as an amateur. And Avanesian is an experienced fighter. He's got a couple losses, but he's experienced. Josh Kelly isn't really experienced. Avanesian fought. Uh, well, actually, Avanesian beat Shane Mosley, probably when he was old, old, old. And he also fought Lamont Peterson, even though he lost to Lamont Peterson. But, and Kelly, I tried to look up his resume, and I didn't recognize anybody on his resume. Maybe one or two, but I don't feel like digging into it right now. But on that fight, we got Kelly as the favorite at minus 140. So, for all you novices out there, if it's minus 140 or minus anything, you know that that is the favorite. So, if Kelly, in this instance, is minus 140, you have to bet $100 to win $140. Now, Avanesian is plus 120. So, you have to bet $120 to win 100, roughly. Depending on what website you use or who you use, different percentages, blah, blah, blah. But keep in mind, this is Tuesday night at about quarter of 12. So these lines are going to change throughout the week. I just went to one of the websites that popped up after I Googled it, and this is the numbers they gave me. So in this fight, it's not a big mismatch as far as the money line goes. So I personally think Josh Kelly's going to win. because it'll probably go to the scorecards and he'll get the nod. I'm pretty sure. But so yeah, that's one of the fights on the UK card. The big fight that people have been waiting for. And then we got who else we got on the UK card? Oh, I didn't take any numbers down for this fight, but I just wanted to highlight another fight on that card. Florian Marku against Charlton. Now, I forget Charlton's first name, but I've seen him fight on one of the UK cards, and the fight that I watched, he was a pretty good fighter, and Florian Marku had a draw last time. He got robbed. He's a younger fighter. He used to be a kickboxer. Then he came to boxing. So he's coming out to make a statement. But I have no money lines in that fight. When I was reading down through the card, I recognized the names and I thought about their fighting style. So that's a fight to look out for just as pure fan. No betting interest. No nothing. I'm sure I can find it real quick. Yeah, Marku's the favorite. Negative 150. Ryland Charlton plus 130. So, again, if you think Marku would win, you put hold on here. Yeah, if you think Marku would win, you put $150 down to win 100. I don't know, did I just give it to you backwards on the last fight I was talking about? Let's see, Kelly, the favorite. Yeah, so you put $140 to win 100. Avanesian is plus 120, so put $100 down to win 120. So that's the UK card out of the way. The next up that I'm going to talk about is the ESPN card. There's really only one fight that they're pushing, one fight that I've taken notice to, and that's Oscar Valdez against Burchell. Now, this is interesting. They are pushing this as pretty much the king of Mexico in the 126 to 130 division. I don't think they're at 130 yet. I think they're 126. 126 and up is what I believe. That's neither here neither here nor there. And yeah, so Valdez is well, they're both bangers. They're both ridiculous. They really don't have the greatest defense of both of them, but they will throw 70 to 80 punches around, and it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a real good fight. Burchell is the bigger one out of the two. I think he has to lose the most weight to get down to where he needs to be to make weight, and he just got unbelievable power. So, yeah, Burchell's noticeable wins is Francisco Vargas and Jason Sosa. He stopped both of those guys. Valdez, he beats Scott Quid from the UK, unanimous decision. And he also beat Genesis Cervania, and that fight was ridiculous as well. That's another fight you might want to see. But the money lines on this one is Valdez plus 300. So he is the underdog. You bet $100, you could win $300. Burchell is minus 360. Have to pay $360 to win $100. And on this one, I did the over and under as many rounds as I think it's going to last. And the over and under right now is 9.5. Now, this one's tough to say. This one's really tough to say. Over is plus 120. Under is minus 150. I think it's going to be a war. Might get stopped in the later rounds. Just to be a rebel, I'd say it's going to go over for plus 120. None of these fights I'd really feel crazy about, but that's just what I would pick. I think Burchell's going to stop him, but I think he's going to stop him in the 11th to 12th. Like I said, I think Kelly's going to win on that UK card. I think Mark Koo's going to beat Charlton on that UK card. But that's the fight that I'm most interested in seeing. It's going to be on ESPN Plus or just regular ESPN. I'm not sure. But Valdez and Burchell, it's going to be a lot of action. And if it's not, I'm going to be super surprised. There's going to be action. Bring it to the bank. Guarantee it. A lot of action. Don't know who's going to win, but I think Burchell's going to win in the 11th to 12th stoppage. And then we come to a PBC card. I don't know if it's going to be on Showtime or if it's going to be on Fox. I didn't even bother looking that up, but there's two good fights, and of course Adrian Broner's making his return. Adrian Broner's been out of the ring for a while. Last time he fought was January 19th, 2019. That's when he fought Manny Pacquiao and threw 15 punches the whole fight. But he's coming back against an undefeated kid. He's really got nobody on his resume. So Broner should blow this guy out. And the bookies got it the same way. They got Broner minus 925, so he's a favorite. Santiago is plus 550. I don't know anything about Santiago. I just highlighted this fight because it's Broner's comeback. Broner's always must-see TV no matter what he does. He either fights good or he doesn't fight at all, and then he makes up excuses at the end of the fight. Either way, it's must-see TV. Broner's always good for entertainment. And then we got Robert Easter Jr. versus Ryan Martin. Robert Easter Jr. is minus 1110. Wow. Huge favorite against Ryan Martin plus 625. Now, once again, I don't know much about Ryan Martin, but I do know a lot about Robert Easter Jr. He's fought some good opponents. He lost to Mikey Garcia, but it was a good fight. It went the distance. And so, yeah, I would say Robert Easter Jr. wins that one. I also think Broner's going to destroy his guy. I would assume, but like I said, you never know with Broner. And then you got the heavyweights, this one's intriguing. You got Dominic Brazil, who got blasted out in about a minute and a half against Deontay Wilder in his last fight. But he went 6 rounds against Anthony Joshua. So you don't know what kind of Brazil's going to show up. And obviously Otto Weiland doesn't punch like Deontay Wilder. If you guys remember, I think it was a free ESPN fight. I don't think it was pay-per-view. I highly doubt it. But Otto Weiland was a guy who fought Tyson Fury before Fury and Wilder fought. Otto Weiland was a guy that split Tyson Fury's eye wide open. And Tyson Fury was close to being stopped in that fight for the cut. And if Fury would have got stopped because of that cut, Fury would have never fought Wilder, and Fury never would have beat Wilder. So I'm interested in seeing what Weiland does and what Brazil does, because they're part of the heavyweight division, and boxing is always better when we got a lot of heavyweights and a lot of fights to make in the heavyweight division. So in that fight, we got Brazil plus 250, Otto Weiland minus 265. Now, if you have some spare money to throw around, which I doubt in the climate that we live in today, but why not throw $100 on Dominic Brazil? He's not a complete waste. You know, he's been around the block a few times. He knows how to fight. Wallen looked all right against Fury, but that was the first time I've ever seen him, Otto Wallen. I mean, he looked decent, but he doesn't look like a 2.5, to 1 favorite. I just don't see it. I think this is more of a 60-40 fight, maybe in favor to Wallen, but if you just want to take a gamble, and literally I mean a gamble, maybe throw $50 to $100 on Brazil. You throw $50 on Brazil, you make $125. You throw $100, you make $250. I'm losing my voice, Jesus Christ. If I was to put any money down this weekend, that's the fight I'd probably put money on, just as, like a shot in the dark. But I'd probably just put $50 on it. And, more than double up my money if he wins. So those are the main fights coming up this weekend that I'm interested in keeping tabs on. Should be a good day of boxing, starting roughly, like I said, if you're on the East Coast, around 2:30. So yeah, before I sign off, I was thinking about starting a new thing of any just casual boxing fans, not hardcores like myself and some other people that I know. I figured at the end of each video or every other video, I'd throw out a fight or two that I think if you're a casual fan, you probably never would have heard of this fight. Even if you have heard of this fight, you probably didn't take time to watch it. But 9 times out of 10, you can find these fights that I'm going to tell you about on YouTube. So if you got a free half an hour, these are some fights that you probably never heard of, and you should definitely watch because these are the fights that stand out in my mind as some of the best fights, and maybe not always the most notable names, but just fights that I enjoyed, and I'm sure you would enjoy as well. So the fight this video I'm going to tell you about is, who did I write down here for you? Who did I write? Oh yeah. Yes, Jamie Moore versus Matthew Macklin. It was a UK fight for the British title. 10 years ago, maybe. I actually just saw this like last week. I don't know why I never saw it, but absolutely unbelievable. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but non-stop action. You should definitely check it out. That's Jamie Moore against Matthew Macklin in the UK. And just type it into YouTube or any search engine that you use, and you'll find it. It's A+ fight, definitely. So that's it for this video. Check out Boxing this Saturday. If you're interested in those betting lines, make sure you keep up with them throughout the week because they always change. And so yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit me up, Facebook, Twitter, wherever else. Holla at your boy, Morse House. Peace.